my crypto queen. She knows the scene, turning zeros into heroes. It's my digital dream. We check the charts, those candles are green. Leverage it up, stacking it up. Now my back's obscene. Yes, I've done buy some meme coins. Got rug pulled once or twice. I spent too much money. Crypto took over my life. I must confess, monetary distress. I need more dry powder so I can stack up on these treasure chests. This bull run, we gon' live like kings. But for right now, it's going on a credit card. Oh no, no. Yeah, we about to make wife changing money. Been in the game since 2018. We were scrubs, now we 18. Wrist loaded with the bling, bling, bling. Pulling more hoes than my boy Charlie Sheen. Got B&B at $4. Solana, $2. When P. Peg $1. We was po, now we the borrower. Wife changing money. Hey, drop that beat, dog. Wife, changing money, changing my love.
Oh yeah, just playing around. I'm your host, Taurus.
I'm Larry.
And we're coming to you live with another PulseChain update. Seeing what's going on in this crazy crypto world. As you know, every day, something's going on.
Today we got the big news though.
The big news today?
Yep.
Oh, we're going to get into the big news. Let's see here. Oh. There we go. Yeah, what's going on, Mr. Larry?
Well, it turns out that Hitler escaped Germany and lived in Argentina after the war.
Argentina. I heard it was Brazil.
I don't know where it was. Somewhere there was a beach.
I've actually been deep into Brazil and been to some little towns out there that if you didn't know any better, you might thought you were in a little German town.
Yeah, I went to Brazil once and we drove down the coast and we stopped and got, I guess, a beer or something. And these guys were playing volleyball with their feet on the beach.
Yeah, that's a common game. I think Grandma even gets out there and plays.
Yeah.
You know, they're hardcore about the soccer out there for sure. That's where I got a big appreciation for soccer, actually. I was up, a lot of the apartments there, they're more like high-rise apartments for safety factors. And I must have been, 20 floors up, and I was just kind of rocking on a little hammock, and there was a game being played inside, but it was kind of one of the main ones for the area. And you would just hear people screaming like all around the city from the hammock. And then I was actually even in a different time. I was in an even smaller city, and their team won. And I shit you not, for an hour straight, the city was going crazy. The horns honking outside, just craziness.
Humans.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, what else is up, man? I haven't been checking the charts too much the past couple of days. I have been listening a little bit online.
I think we're still waiting for April.
Well, it is April today. April Fool's, to
shit.
be exact. I wish I would have conjured up a little something to play a joke on you, but
Yeah.
maybe next year now. Yeah, you know.
That's when we're doing Christmas gifts too.
Christmas gifts?
Next year.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got you a Christmas gift this past year.
Yeah, you did. Thank you very much.
That's right. We do Christmas gifts around here.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Not everybody does that anymore, you know?
No, that's world's changing.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
And they're saying kids that grow up on cell phones say are having anxiety disorder or something like that because they're so in touch with what's going on, and if they're not in touch with what's going on, then they don't feel secure. So
That's interesting because I feel like having the phone around me gives me more anxiety.
yeah,
But I am, pre cell phone like that, I grew up also without the phone in that sense. So I do find it really interesting. And we're not going to really get into this, but, the kids these days are just really, from a very, very young age, have an iPad in front of them. And
it's just so easy.
that could be, yeah, right. The convenience, right? Mm-hmm. For convenience, we give up our health, basically. Maybe we can find a way to incorporate the two, but I'm not sure. if
There's
that's-
probably some deep meaning in there, like convenience somehow leads to less than optimum results
right.
for
some
everything.
Good things take time. And what we kind of have to relearn maybe is patience, so that these anxieties, these things, won't take hold. The instant gratification that we try to get, it'll be our, to our demise. It'll be our end.
Well, Hex teaches us about, basically,
Patience.
it's not even patience. You put a date on it, and then you just agree to come back on that date and unstake it. So it's not patience. It's just more, it's reality with a structure for enforcement. So, and that's one thing that Landmark Forum, I did that a while back, and they talked about structures of enforcement, I think it was. And so a calendar is like a structure that helps you get a task done. It's like part of the whole task is putting it on your calendar. And, so that you have some way to set an alarm so that you're accountable to do something.
Right. At the very least, right?
Yeah.
Like a calendar date.
Yeah.
If not, now you can also plug it into your phone to yell at you.
Yeah.
And you could also have an accountability partner. Someone to actually yell at you.
Well, that's so last year. We have AI now.
Oh, we got our AI
Yeah. Assistant.
general.
Digital assistant.
Digital assistant, yeah. I mean, I do believe there are a lot of things AI is going to do to help bring more ease to the human experience. I look forward to that. We'll just get our AI robots that represent us to go work for us.
Well, there is a Google Chrome extension that has an AI agent assistant that I saw a review on yesterday or today, sometime recently, which is kind of cool because you can then have the AI do web surfing for you.
Web surfing, what do you like in what
Open
sense?
pages, click links.
Well, like you just say it and it does it kind of thing?
No, you just sort of give it a task like,
Oh,
give me a 500-page book report on this, and like you just let it go, and then it comes back and and I needed a website, and I want to order 6-inch replicas of everything.
yeah, and then
and
it just
create-
finds it all and gets it done
And
for you.
create it, manufacture it, and deliver it.
That's part of the problem, when you have an idea, it's, the most powerful thing in the world is our brain, because the idea first starts there, and then we manifest the idea.
And then our feet and hands.
Right, because that's going to make the actions that bring that idea into fruition, right, into the reality. And yeah, it's interesting. I wish people would play with that more, with their minds and what they can create in their mind. But again, getting it from A to Z, right? If you could just say to the AI, this is the idea, and then it can take that idea from A to Z, where in the world today, to get to Z, it can stop you because you might not know how to get to B and C.
That's the toughest part about any kind of business. It's not the idea. Everybody has an idea of making a hamburger, but you got to put it into execution and deliver a sack full of food,
Well, and is it going to taste good?
And then is it going to take, you're going to have people come back for a second one. That's the key.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go and check out some of these charts.
Yeah.
See what's been going on. Get resituated here. Yeah, I'm pretty excited that we got the PLS moving on up, coming in at 0.0000204. And it's looking, I think, for the
week.
I mean, I know it's up
Still
because
a
it was down in the ones, but I guess it hasn't moved. I don't know. It's in the twos though. I appreciate that. We like
Terrible twos. Yep.
yeah. Let's go into
Better
the chart.
than the
Check
awful
out-
ones.
See what it's
Ooh,
doing.
look at that thing. It's bouncing.
It's got some.
I mean, that's classic. It should come back and make like just this.
It's the
point.
weekly. That's the weekly. Let's see what the daily's looking like here.
I mean, this is like the premier product in the world, and it's not priced like it, but this is very distributed, very loyal participants. It's DeFi. I mean, obviously, things have to have keys, and people can affect things and stuff, but it's pretty decentralized.
Yeah, you can see here it had this breakdown, and then somebody came in and popped it up, which I'm not surprised because for 1 billion pulse, you could have been a billion pulsionaire, or I don't know, but you could have got it for around $17,000.
That'd be like Bill Gates or something.
Got 4 billion pulse. And really, you got 4 times 17,000. But actually, it's a little higher now since it's up in the 2s. So that is pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to get to that 11 and 13 mark up there.
Yeah, we want to come back up here for sure. The 3 zeros and a 1. And that looks, where's that at exactly? Right there. So, not undoable by any means.
Oh, definitely not. We'll be there. There's no liquidity, so that's why we're so low.
It's been, let's see, right here is when we did it. So since
part of it is
April
also,
last year, 1 year. It's been 1 year on the 9th.
Yeah. So it's low liquidity and the prices come down so fast. This bounce helps a little bit, but there's a psychology in it. It's like no one wants to catch the falling knife, so they wait until it bounces. And is this bounce enough to get people to start to come back? So it looks like it's pretty definite bounce there. Where,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, so yesterday it ended on the green, so we're green so far.
Oh, right. So we're in a new day too.
And today, yeah, we're in a new day here. So
Cool.
that's a good thing. That's why I was saying, yeah, put us
It's a
back
new
over to 2
day.
there. It's a new day.
I heard Waters above today.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how we have until like the 13th or the 15th, somewhere in the middle of the month, to clear all the madness of March.
Well, April's supposed to be like a breakout month, right? Like just historically.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be good.
Well,
But-
even if we look like, again, we just said April last year, we were at what, quote unquote, sack rate, 3 zeros and a 1. So I guess that stands true then, huh? 1 year, April, breakout month.
I'm not seeing the bottom of the dates.
You want to see the bottom of the
Yeah.
dates? Okay, let
The
me see
screen
if I
is-
can
it's
help
off
you
just
out
a
with that.
touch.
Let me see if I can help you with this. You'll need to talk while I
Okay,
try
cool.
to adjust.
I like the green and red colors though, because it reminds me of Christmas. And,
I mean, that is nice. It is nice to do that.
but also this chart looks a lot like Ethereum, which really is bad. But also the chart on Ethereum looks much worse because like it's 2 years of down, and I guess we're 2 years of down too, and we're just not seeing it here.
There you go. You like that?
There you go. Perfect.
And then we might as well just take this time to remind everybody, never financial advice here. Do your own research. Check out multiple different streams, you know, to see, you know, where truth might lie in between some overlapping. But do your own research. Never financial advice. Purely entertainment purposes only.
Brought to you by X.com.
Yeah, so PLS looking like we got a little bounce up. We do appreciate that. We got PulseX still trailing behind just a little bit. We're not at the 1-to-1 ratio anymore. PulseX coming in at 0.00000181. And I guess right now, let's see, the burn ratio right now, 6.83%.
That's nice.
1.35 trillion PulseX. There will never be any more PulseX. So supply is 20 trillion. Now, is that 1.35 trillion off of 20 trillion? So
Yep.
the supply actually, maybe it'll tell us here.
Yeah.
Here it is. 19,842,562,892,831.
Yeah, I think the supply just means the current supply right now, and so it doesn't include the 1.35.
But it
So-
does include $24 million
Yeah.
burned at the current price. And that price is pretty low, so not bad. Let's go check out the chart on it real quick. See what we got going on. Had a nice green closing day yesterday. I wonder if it's the same wallet address that did that. That'd be interesting.
Did what? 2 days
That
in a row?
caused the green candle in Pulse and PulseX yesterday.
Got it. Pulse and Pulse.
Because they both had a nice, this one even bigger green than the closing the day before, and that's probably called something. But this
Well,
looks
also
like-
the
like a
liquidity
cat.
is so tied together that if one moves, they're all going to move. I
Yeah,
think.
we got this in the full.
That's one thing about PTGC is that it has liquidity bonded with PDI, and then they burnt the keys, so they can't remove it. And so they're all upset about, not them, but I guess they are upset too, but there's lots of folks that are anti-PDIers that are upset with the PTGC link.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. We hadn't
'Cause
said it
that's-
yet, but you said it. P-die.
Yeah.
It took us, let me tell you how long. It took us 21 minutes till we mentioned P-die.
Well, the thing is, what I would recommend is the thing to do is to sell it and not participate. And then you don't have to worry about it. Because the risk is, it's not really risk. It's, because there's a lot of up and there's not much down. But the thing is, it drains the liquidity is what they're talking about and stuff. But, no, I forgot where I was going.
Well, I was looking on the old X sphere, and I saw a couple surveys talking about, broken P-die or new P-die, and then there was like one other option. But over 50% on all of them, everybody picked. What do you think? It was like the new one that's being forked. Oh, it was Pump.Tires. So the Richard Pump.Tires P-die, the broken P-die, or quote unquote broken, and the new fork one.
No, that's all,
Which one do you think won in the surveys?
the real
Over
or the
50%.
fake? The real or the fake?
Well, there's
I would hope the real one.
do you mean the broken one?
No, it's not broken. I don't know what's broken.
Well, that's
about it.
what it was. That was in the survey. They considered the one that came over with the original fork, the broken one.
We don't know it's broken.
Well, we don't know if it's broken, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
on the survey.
so
Okay,
let's
so you're
not
saying
repeat
that's
it.
the one that you think got over 50%.
Of course. The
Well,
one that's the real one.
Sir, you would be correct.
Cool. I love being right.
And so, which I thought was really interesting, and I think should be taken note of. That means the majority, at least the majority in those surveys.
It sort of is majority. If a majority want to go do something, they can go do something. The thing is, they're leaving behind the token. That token still will be there, and you'll still have the same people playing on it. And,
Right.
What I was gonna say that I forgot was that it doesn't matter if you have PDI in your wallet. If PDI pegs to $1, you're gonna get all the benefits of PDI going to $1. Like everything is gonna go up 100x or more. So you don't have to own PDI in order to get the benefits of PDI going to $1. And so why put the risk in something like that where that Richard is totally behind Hex first and then his other tokens, but Hex, he created PulseChain to make sure that Hex would survive and would be fair for everybody to participate. So I think that one's going to pump the most.
You think Hex is going to pump the most?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's lots of coins that could pump maybe more, but like that Richard's going to work hard on doing, it's going to be Hex.
All right, we're breaking news. Which Hex?
You mean they're going to be tied together?
Well,
So
but do you think, you just think they're both going to do well?
they're both going to do exactly what they do. The thing is, like, do they go to parity? Probably. That kind of just depends on the market, but
Right.
they're
Well,
going to go up, and they're going to keep some similar ratio to what they have now, or even better, they'll be at parity.
I mean, it didn't sound
So it's
like
not going to get worse, I don't think, than the ratio. It's only going to get better. So if that is true, then that means the EHEX might do a little bit better than PHEX. But I think they're both going to do awesome. But, there's other tokens that are out there too that are pretty interesting, especially until EHEX has its, what do they call it? Emergency in-stake moment.
when is that going to be?
Oh,
You mean when like the price gets high enough and everybody's just like, all right.
when
I'm
P-Die pegs,
okay.
then everything 100Xs or 200Xs.
So you still think the
And-
P-Die, the broken P-Die is pegging?
There's no broken P-Die. I'm not.
All right.
I'm
so
not
the
a
purple P-Die then.
Richard spoke about it like tons of times and stuff. So that is, if we can do that, whether he has to back it with his, sacrifice funds or not, because like the way some folks talk about it, you don't even need the sacrifice funds. It's just you just need the the vaults need to get liquidated and created with good vaults or something like that. So yeah. We need a P-Die, whether it's the old P-Die or a new P-Die coming over from Ethereum. We need the DAI folks over here to do a DAI, and it'd be decentralized
It's do or
DAI.
die.
But I'm not saying that P-Die is gonna peg. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know the contract part of it. So, like, I understand, that everybody else understood that DAI works over on Ethereum. I understand that DAI works on Ethereum. I don't understand if we get all the links correct and we get working oracles and all that kind of stuff, why the one that got forked couldn't be used.
If it can get, well, I was gonna say fixed, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. There's like the community at the moment's a little split. It's like, is the chain being extracted from?
Well,
Because did you see what happened last night?
I think economics takes care of that. It's like if you get dumped on, you keep getting dumped on, and you get dumped on, then those folks, they don't survive. Stupid hurts. So we're going to run out of those people. They're all going to put their money in P-Die, and if it gets extracted, then the price of P-Die goes down, and then they just don't have any money.
Right, and that's I totally agree in the sense
That's
of
the way it works. That's
what you're
called
saying is-
decentralized economy.
this is kind of my take on this whole forking thing. I not necessarily in agreement with the whole P-Die fork. I think we should have just left it
Bullshit.
alone.
Yeah.
And let P-Die do what it's going to do. And like you're saying, stupid hurts. So at some point, if the money is being extracted and they're being dumped on, they're just going to stop putting money into it. And then who's ever taking that money out isn't going to have anything to take out anymore. And it'll just go away, and we just continue on with life.
Yeah.
We do know that the founder of PulseChain, Richard Hart, has said in his own words that he wants a stable coin. So does that have to be P-Die? Not necessarily. We don't know what's going on in his mind, especially with the current situation. He's probably 3 steps ahead of what's going on. What are we going to assume that Richard didn't know what was going on? I think it would be
He's
more
been
safe
talking
to
about
assume
before. Yeah.
he knew what was going on than not. We're talking about one of the smartest guys in the blockchain ecosystem.
Yeah.
Who knows how it runs, ins and outs. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be a little far-fetched. But I'm not going to put it past the guy. He's human still, right? I mean, he's a smart dude and whatnot, but he's still human. He could have been having one of his little orgies, and then, it slipped his mind. Who knows? But he,
I've
gonna do
never
what's best
heard
for the
him
chain.
say that he's had orgies.
No?
No, have you heard that?
At least, I mean, isn't more than 2 people
I don't know.
considered orgy at that point?
I don't know. I just never heard that word before.
Oh, I don't know if maybe orgy, but he's talked about more than one girl, I think,
Okay.
in like a scenario. So I'm just putting 2 and 3 together.
Okay.
I'm guessing orgies. I don't know. There's a lot, Elon Musk was doing all the orgies too. It's a billionaire thing,
I guess. I don't know.
I'm not a billionaire, so I wouldn't know either. But some people are doing it out there. So we got the ink price coming in at $1.12. Not too bad, I guess.
I heard people talking about $1,000 for ink, but I guess that's not this week.
Who was saying that?
Over on Wolf, they were talking about it.
Oh, well, there's been a lot of speculation on ink to do very well. I guess the supply is
I heard
small,
today
right?
400.
Yeah, 55 million's got a small supply.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back, that all-time high, it went up to $80. I do remember that. I did get a very awesome trade somewhere. Wait, why is it saying? We know it was like 80. Why is that not showing it like that? Oh, there's the other one over here. Yeah, I'd gotten it somewhere. I did a nice trade. I think somewhere in like 60, 70 range. Got a lot of PulseX for that one.
Cool.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's good to sell high and buy low.
It's cool when you give like a small amount of coins from one thing, and then it looks like you get a large amount of coins from another.
And then the IRS comes up.
Yeah, they're like, hey, those numbers look
We want
big. You're like,
half.
no, but look at the price. There's like 8 zeros.
I
It's not
can't
worth
sell
anything.
it. If I sell it to pay the tax, then I can't. The price will tank and it won't be worth what I'm selling it
Yeah,
for.
then I need
So
to
it's
take
like,
more out
Yeah.
just to make that work. Yeah. Well, let's see here. We got one more of the core coins coming up here with the PulseX rocking in at 0.00505. So you can get hex for half a penny at the moment. Yeehaw.
Hex. Yeah, I think Hex is the play. Of these 4, I think Hex is the play.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's so funny because some guys would say, or gals might say, incentive token might do the best. Or there's some people that really believe PulseX is going to do the best. And then kind of me personally, if all these are pumping, my bet's on Pulse. I think PLS is going to do the best. But who knows?
Me.
Says everybody. Yeah, we got, or actually, before we do
I
that.
can't wait. And we've never been to this place before. But the place is, imagine you're in a field and it's filled with flowers, and all the heads of the flowers were hex symbols. And then imagine you become a ghost looking over this field, and someone drops a nuclear bomb and all of the hex flowers are gone. And there are no more hex flowers.
Oh, the flowers are gone.
And so the price of one hex flower is going to be really high. And that's what happens with hex. It gets locked up. It gets staked for an average. I think the new average is 9 years. But it was like 7 years, I think.
Where do we see that average?
It's on there.
Is it here? On here?
No, not there. Go up one more. What is that one right there? That's the number of stakers.
PulseChain stakers, 135,000.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not
crazy.
sure.
Yeah. I can't remember either. I think there was maybe Hex Scout, maybe? Will Hex Scout tell you? Let's check it out. Hex stats today. No, it's
But I
Hex.
think the OA is not completely staked. Or somebody's not completely staked. Because I remember them saying that 3% of non-OA, non-God whale,
See here.
that's all that was left, was 3% out of 100.
3%, yeah, which is not a lot.
Which is not a lot. And all we got to do is lock up 3% of the hex, and it's gone. No more hex flowers. And then everybody starts wanting hex flowers.
Come get your Hex flowers. Selling them like you're at the football game.
See, PulseX, the supply does go down over the next 13 years. It's going to
Here it
be
is.
really interesting to see the supply of PulseX drop. But with Hex, all it takes is one huge buyer to come in and buy it all up and stake it, and it's staked, it's gone. There's no unstaking. You go halfway, and
You want to go, if you are going to unstake early, if you can, make sure it's at least half the amount of the length of the stake. So if you do a 3-year, wait a year and a half.
But it really, I think now, especially now that the T-share payout is low and the potential is that it could go higher, you don't want to make any stakes that are shorter than 15 years. Every stake should be a 5.55.
Really?
Yeah. And if you're going to need the money, then you should make it an HSI instead of a native stake.
An HSI stake, which would be considered a hedron stake, which is a little more advanced.
No, it's not advanced.
Well, I mean, for the
All it
average
is
person.
A native hex stake is you are taking your stake and you're driving it into the rock, and that you're not pulling that stake out until the end date. Okay, and what a hedron HSI stake is, you're taking that stake and you're putting it in the envelope, and then when you make the stake, it seals the envelope, and that envelope holds that stake, and you can't take the stake out, but you can take that envelope and you can move it around, and I can borrow against it, or I could sell it, or I could keep it, or I can move it from wallet to wallet. With a native hex stake, you're locked in your wallet. So if you get hacked, then it's you and the hacker are waiting for that thing to come out or to get to the halfway point.
Or the hacker doesn't know and they just nuke the stakes.
Or
anyways.
they just nuke it because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think more and more people are going to get pretty smart on hex.
Well, so this is what Hedron does. It allows your unstakeable hex stake to basically still be staked, but now you can transfer it around.
Yeah, exactly. It's portable.
Yeah, you can send it to another wallet. So if Larry had an HSI stake and I wanted to buy it, I could purchase it from him and he could just send it over to my wallet. And now that stake is in that envelope that he was talking about. And now I am in possession of it. And it's now my stake.
Yeah, but there's automated protocols. I think it's called Actuator. And you can take your stake and you delegate it to their protocol, and then at some date you borrow against the stake, but at some point you have to repay it, and if you don't repay it, then they get to keep it. So they issue these hex time tokens in order to represent future hex. And so, like, if you've earned 100 hex inside of your stake, you can get a hex time token, I think, for 100.
Okay.
100 hex time tokens. And every day you get a daily payout of 2 hex, is what it is now. It was 6 or 7 earlier, but now it's 2. So every day you're going to get 2 for every T-shirt. 2 hex time tokens. And then it's kind of interesting because the price of hex is down. They're supposed to represent the price of hex. But the thing is, as soon as you buy them, or as soon as you mint them, and then you go trade them for something, then they drop in price because you're buying something else. And the other thing goes up in price because you bought that.
Right.
So there's always these supply dynamics.
Well, and that's more extreme if it's low liquidity.
And then
those
low
coins,
liquidity.
you know?
Yeah, and then also the liquidity that's bonded to is part of it with Hart's Law. And so, it's really interesting. Crypto's got a lot of facets that you can look at, and that you might be able to say something is more important in creating value, and other people go, oh, that's not that important, like maybe the burn factor. And then it turns out, oh, wow, that thing is burning a lot. And so then the price goes up. So,
yeah. I just had a thought. We should get Fast Abdul on here and give him, have him ring in sometime.
yeah.
Shout out Fast Abdul.
Yes, sir.
He's out there
He's
working.
making the rounds.
Yeah,
definitely.
we can talk to him about his incentive printer, incprinter.com, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right about that. We got the 9.1 years. The average weighted stake length is 3,315 days. 9.1 years.
I think that it's going to go up a lot more too, because if everybody does 15 years from now on, then it should go up. Now, part of this is a lot of Richard stakes were not 15 years. I think he went some short, some medium, and some long.
Yeah, the OA address.
The OA
right?
address,
Yeah.
right? But I think for everybody else, there's something about having the native hex stake that is so valuable on the human portion of the thing, because we're all human and you can't take it out. It's so beautiful, the native hex stake. But I do think that most people are going to start using the HSI because it is portable and you can sell it and borrow. And especially after this downdraft, people are going, man, I like hex, but I can't be locked up forever. Well, you weren't locked up. If you made a ladder, you got some out. It was worthless when it came out.
Yeah.
It's always going to be worthless when the price is down.
Yeah. There's multiple ways you can play it, right? You could also do some stakes and keep some liquid, because again, the hex coin itself it's a superior coin. So why not hold a superior product and not, an inferior project?
Right. And also there's the Earn protocol, folks, over at Power City that you can borrow against your hex. And I'm not sure if Earn is for PulseX. All right, I think Earn is for both PulseX and for hex, because one is USDX or something. I'm not sure. And that's the Power City. I guess I get my phone out and look. But they got two borrowing protocols. One is for PulseX and one is for borrowing against your hex. So you don't have to sell it. The problem is you don't want to borrow against too much of it, because the price could go down. There have been times when the prices have been down, and this is one of them. So,
and the price is down. Well, for hex, it's still quite up, actually. So OGs are still pretty up on their hex. Just no liquidity to pull.
Earn and Flex. Okay.
What are those?
The Earn protocol is for borrowing against your PulseX. Excuse me. And the Flex protocol is for borrowing against your hex. And that's over at powercity.io. And I would recommend that you type in addresses from known sources instead of going with autofill on your computer or links. Because especially now with AI, it's so easy to spin up a fake website that looks exactly like the original.
One letter off.
One letter off or something like that. The O is a 0 or something like that.
Double check for sure. Maybe triple, quadruple if you just want to be extra safe. And like Larry's saying, make sure you're finding these sites from a reputable place. You can go on X, find some reputable spots that way. You can go Telegram there is good stuff on Telegram, but
Probably people that you follow. I know Maddie has a link for Trezor. And as long as it's trezor.io / whatever Maddie's link is, he gets a little bit of referral code, and I think you get like a little bit of a discount. And if you have a different follower that has one of those links,
you can actually get a more discount too. If you go look on there, they'll have like a bundle deal, and you can get 2 of them, and they give you a little discount on there.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
So, but
Trezor.io is the official site.
right.
So don't get caught, getting the TRESOR or something,
Right,
.io.
right.
You think it sounds like Trezor, but you don't actually know.
Exactly.
Right? You've heard people say it before, but you've never seen how it's spelt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then some scammer, harps on that, takes advantage. So, be sure to get the sites correct, because
have your coffee first.
Well, we could talk about that too. I personally don't think you need coffee, but
Yeah, exactly.
have some juice or just get some good sleep. But be sure before you go start clicking things, even in your emails. Look, just the other day, I had something pop up talking about Taurus Table Talk, saying your account's been shut down. And it was like Taurus Table Talk, and then it had like a couple of numbers after it. I mean, I knew it wasn't me, but it was saying it was coming from X, like a email from X or something. Mm-hmm. And I had to catch myself there for a second. I almost started clicking into the email, and I'm just like, oh, hold up. You got to remember, that's how you just think, oh, that's me. And you start clicking, and then you click that one link that now they have control of your computer.
All it is one click.
This is the volatility of crypto.
Of anything on your computer.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And then they talk about charging your phone, what you plug your phone into to charge it. The cable might have a little chip in it.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Like at a hotel, there just happens to be a cable there.
Exactly.
Oh, man. All right, so you hear that, folks. Bring your own cables.
Bring your own cable. Definitely.
Jeez.
And hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
There's no telling what the future holds. Like if corporations are allowed to lie to us and then also steal our data, then, what... Pretty much anything's legal, I think.
Yeah, this is what people forget. It's not illegal to lie. Okay? You're lied to every day about pretty much everything in your whole entire life you ever know of. So, yeah, people entrap themselves so much in their own mind, and just prevents them from really being able to see the reality they're really living in. But we're waking up. People are waking up. It's a good thing. And speaking of a good thing, we're talking about Hex being staked. We had the OA stake it out heavy.
Yeah.
All of Hex 94.75% is staked on PulseChain, and 93.62%
It's
on
interesting. There's a
Ethereum.
percent difference.
I think that was the OA. The OA I thought did different. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe that could be an
why?
individual person thing too. I don't know.
I just wonder why that is.
We got one T-share on Ethereum is $65, and one T-share on PulseChain is $208. So quite a big difference there, about 3 times the price. Yeah. Let's go check out anything else you want to say about?
Let's look at UpX.
We'll go to Epic. Hold on, before we go to Epic, let's go check out the purple Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, that one's a cool one.
See what that was doing. We had some lines here that we had drawn out,
And there's no inflation bug on purple Bitcoin.
no inflation
It's just
bug.
that
We like that.
there's 150,000 of them. That's the only thing that seems kind of cool to me.
150,000 low amount of coins.
It's
out
the
there.
original Bitcoin that got forked over.
So, as said on Mr. St. Wolf the other day, there was a lot of resistance here around $200. And as you can
that must
see,
be that box area.
this is one of the boxed areas. It never got quite down to that 110. It got to 120, 119. But look here. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what we got going on here. It looks like some people are buying $235 now for a purple Bitcoin. And it was, like I said, it was like you were saying, it was bouncing all around here around this 200. And here we are now. So, doing its thing. Let's see, it's all-time high. I thought it tells me up here, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's only deck screener.
Looks like about 3,000 or so. No,
Yeah, 27.
That's cool.
2,700. And then it came, even over here.
But I'm waiting on 100,000. I want it to beat the real Bitcoin across 100 grand.
Maybe even worth more because.
So like if Pete I pegged, then the idea was this would go to 100+% of whatever Bitcoin is.
100+%.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking it might be a third. So like 130% more than the price of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin went to 100 grand, this would be like 130. And when Bitcoin goes to 200,000, this goes to 260,000.
Yeah, but the problem with it doesn't. So because Bitcoin has its set number of coins, is this like an add-on to that?
No. There's 155,000 tokens, and that's it. It's non.
Well, no, but I'm
inflationary.
saying like.
If Bitcoin has inflation, this doesn't have inflation.
Bitcoin's inflation's only to 21 million and then it stops. So we won't see that until they mine, the last one in 2130 or whatever year it's going to be that they finally mine that last block. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. But this
So
is
until
going to
then-
only have 150,000. Period.
yeah, so
And
what
you're
I'm
going to
saying-
have like all these pulsicans, all these hexagons are going to be like driving Maseratis and jets and
You think? I don't think everybody actually in this ecosystem is even worried about that. But here's where the incentive is. You get the tax break on your car when it's a certain weight limit. And the cars that have the weight limit that pass for that are like Rolls Royce, Bentley,
right.
very heavy car, G5 wagon.
That's why I want the Bentley
For the tax write-off.
for the tax break. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to drive those cars that get tax. If your car's not cool if it doesn't get a tax write-off. It's just. It's what
But
you
I
gotta
think
do.
Bentley's getting a 25% tariff.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They're getting the Trump tariff.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this economy's like if we can take things back before 1913 and run them that way and see what that looked like
You mean without the Fed?
without the Federal Reserve. We should just knock off federal because that's just a bunch of bullshit and just call it the Reserve.
Or federated?
Federated. Yeah. Do they have any meetings coming up? Do you know of?
Oh, yeah, March. It was March 15th or March 18th. So it's 6 weeks later. So it's like May 1st or something like that.
May 1st.
Something like that.
And then we have a bit longer on these SEC case. What are we looking at there?
That was April 20th. So we got 2.5 weeks.
Okay. No, yeah,
But
yeah.
they'll probably come back. They're not going to wait till the
3
last
weeks,
day to make.
You don't think so? It seems like they've been waiting this whole time.
No, I think that like either next week or the week after, like they'll be at least. I think they'll do it. Either like 4 days before or 11 days before the 20th. Something like that.
All right. Well, bullish on that.
The 20th is a Sunday, so it has to be the 21st. So I think they would do it on the 17th or the 10th.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out.
Because, like, why wait over the weekend
Right.
to,
Look at this love token.
Love token, yeah. I
Up 56%.
I heard about that guy.
You heard about love token?
Yeah. He has an accent. I don't want to say because I can't remember. But yeah, he seems pretty cool.
Well,
He's selling all kinds of love products, and he uses the love token. He's been on PulseChain for a long time. How do you see what the price has gone down? But if you take out that first week, it looks like it's not so bad. The guy seemed like a pretty cool guy. I would say this one would be worth some research if you were interested.
Well,
Just from my first impression of the guy, he seemed pretty cool.
yeah. Well, you would hope someone would be cool if they're going to come out with love token.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Love token, guys. There you go. That's love token. Cream here is just huge, right in front. Look, it's overtaking these other.
I thought you said Kareem.
Kareem. I can't do the P.
Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem. Kareem. It's like a French style. 196%. But more importantly, look at this guy over here, Bear. Mr. Teddy Bear. It's seen better days.
People are buying it off the floor.
But it does look like, they're trying to bring it back up.
Well, that's the thing is you want to buy when it's cheap. This
When
is
it's low,
the
this
best
is the
time.
This is the time.
Let's go.
So, and it's got story now. Now it's got scars. It's been antiqued. It's been whipped.
It's got
been
some character. It's got
patched.
character to it.
It's a teddy bear with a patch. So,
It's like he's like missing like one of his eyes,
yeah,
He got popped.
got popped. There's a little burn on him.
Yeah. Yeah, Bear was doing nice. There's a lot of talk right now with internet money.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out because of the Rabby stuff. But then I was hearing some different things where Rabby
I don't get.
didn't do it.
I'm like confused because I have a friend of mine. He's actually a blockchain developer, but he's a programmer before he was a blockchain developer. And he goes, this is like a year ago, I was talking about AI with him, and he was saying, AI has made me 10 times more productive.
Well, and how so?
It helps you write the code. So, and if you want to go back through the code, it writes it for you. So then you can go and read it, make sure everything looks right. But as soon as you plug it in and stuff, like it just, you got everything so quick and done. I'm just not sure. Are these guys using AI? It's not like it's a black box. It's creating black box software. It's using the black box to create the software, but you still get to look and read the software. It seems like they'd have new features coming out every day if they were using AI. Hit auto.
What is that?
Hit auto.
Let me see here. Let's make it bigger.
There you go.
Yeah, they were talking a lot today. KG, shout out KG. He was out there, like he always is, just spreading the good word of internet money wallet, especially with the Rabby wallet kind of making it harder for our users to see their coins on that wallet, which we don't need them anyways, but it is nice when we are supported by other things outside of our chain and our network. So, they just want to keep beating us up where they can, but
it's cool, that we just keep getting beat up. It's like
more like that Teddy Boo. We got a black eye right now.
Yeah. It just is like, when is it going to end? But it will end. And when it does, we'll get rewarded for it. So just hang tight. Don't give up in the last days. Just stand strong.
You like it against the Pulse, right? Yeah, it's still staying up in that channel.
Cool, man.
It's trucking along, doing its thing. Up, retract a little, up, retract a little. I mean, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good looking chart, especially amongst the charts we've been seeing out here. Oh. So, shout out to the UpX team out there. Looks like they're providing some value that people are finding.
Yeah, well, there's a new product coming out.
New product.
Yeah, actually, we should get them on to talk about it.
New product. What's the product?
The product is called LPX.
LPX.
And what it does is it provides liquidity, and it's single-sided. So everybody likes single-sided, but this is much better than single-sided liquidity. What it is, it has a no-buy zone in the middle. And so when other people are trading, it's not doing anything. But if it moves too far in one direction, then, and you get to set the amount. They have some that you can join that will be automated and stuff like that, but you get to set it. And so like a standard setting might be like 5%. It doesn't buy until it gets to 5%. Once it gets to 5%, then it starts trading. And it's how you tell it to trade, but it's coming out today, tomorrow.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
The day after. Yeah. And maybe we'll see a pullback in this thing, because usually it's like buy the rim or sell the news or something. But so far it looks pretty good.
It tends to look like that.
But the thing about UpX is what they've done is Liquid Loans came out with a token. I think they raised like $48 million or something for that token.
They raised the most out of anybody outside of Richard.
Well, with UpX, all you did was you traded one Pulse and you got one UpX. There was no like 0.9 or, you just got a 1-for-1 exchange, a Pulse for UpX. And so it's trading right now at 6.7. So it's worth now 6.7 Pulse to the one that you put in.
That's 6x.
That's pretty good because it's been a little over a year now. Okay. So they came out with this token, and what it's supposed to do is it borrows Pulse using Liquid Loans. It takes the Pulse that you gave it and makes a loan with, and then borrows and then uses that to buy more and do a buy and burn. So it takes a small portion and burns, and takes another small portion and goes into the borrow pool again, and it keeps doing that loop and makes a safety pool. So like if we lost, we didn't even get taken out in this recent thing. We might if Pulse keeps dropping, but it looks like Pulse is bouncing. But UpX did not get liquidated. But if it can take 3 liquidations before it's totally wiped out.
Oh, wow.
But even then, it's not totally wiped out. It's only wiped out on the borrowing pool. It still has validators. We now have over 1,000 validators in UpX. I think it's...
You can look at it right here.
Well, yeah, refresh that because that's definitely...
It's the old one.
This is Validator X. This is a new thing. They didn't release a token. See, that's the cool thing about it is there's all these portions to UpX. There are 1,066 validators now.
Yeah, I mean, that number just keeps growing
Look at the
growing.
APR. Look at the APR.
APR, wow, 64.279%. I mean, that's 64.279%
For 7 days last week.
1,066 validators, which the total stake, do they have that number here?
Total stake right there. That's the Pulse.
No,
U
yeah.
Pulse.
What's the, I mean, that would be 1,066 times 32 million.
Right. So it's a chunk of change that's in there.
Yeah, they're looking at, I don't know, maybe like around 20 billion or something, 24 billion.
That's the highest rate in crypto.
I mean, that's insane right there.
So that's across all the chains. That's the highest APR. One reason why they're getting such high APR is because they have so many validators that are in a pool together. And so they're getting what's called building block rewards. So there's 2 kinds of rewards. There's the validator rewards, and then every so often you get chosen to build a block. And those pay like 3 times better than just the regular validator rewards.
But that's all random.
And it's all random. But the more number of validators you have in your pool,
The more random you get.
the more random you get. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Validator X. Okay. So they're taking a very small amount, and that fee goes to the servers and the software, because the developers, they spent time doing it, so they got some little bit of reward out of it. But then also 15% of all the fee that's collected off of that goes to the UpX and Up token burn pool.
Burn pool.
So it helps to burn UpX. And not just burn it. It goes
Is it deflationary or?
It's deflationary.
Okay.
That's the whole thing is, can we get the deflation? So Validator X is deflationary for UpX. Then every transaction that goes through this new LPX pool that we haven't even started talking about yet, every one of those has a transaction fee, just like PulseX. PulseX has burned 6% in 2 years. Well, LPX will be on tons of tokens across. Like, it's going to be competition for PulseX.
Really?
But, PulseX is so huge, it's not going to be that. Nothing to worry about. We're just going to be part of the ecosystem.
Snowball.
But we are going to be buying and burning. Like right now, those validators, the LPX pool is burning more than Validator X is. And we're only doing LPX on Up and UpX. Where in the next day or two, they're going to release it to where we're going to go to any token. So you'll be able to take your hex and put it in a liquidity pair and provide single-sided liquidity. And then also that goes to buy and burn UpX, the fees on that.
Okay.
And so they keep adding things, but they're not adding new tokens. And
Right.
everything they
It's features.
do, everything they add has a burn component, to Up and Up X. And that's why Up and Up X has the beautiful chart that it does. It's because they keep adding things. And we haven't even seen this beginning of the burn. Like what happens with burns is after a period of time, more gets burnt, and then the burn rate increases and the amount of supply to be burnt goes down. So you get a bigger fire and less wood, and then the fire goes out really quick. We don't know what happens when the fire goes out.
That's the thing. I keep, it's this, great experiment. I can't wait to like watch what's going to happen.
What's going to happen with that? You get to the last Pulse X, and they're like, I guess, because once it all gets burnt, and we're down to one Pulse X left, and I'm not selling.
I mean, how do you extract the value out of it? I guess you just loan against it or something.
I don't know. It's going to be really weird to see what happens to these burn tokens.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the end of that experiment.
Oh, we haven't.
But yeah, and Up and FX is going to be, I think, a big player in that experiment. But obviously, Pulse X has burnt 6%, so it's doing pretty good. Shout out.
Pretty good. Yeah. Well, any last words for the day to leave people with?
I would say you don't have to own P.Tires in order to get all the benefits. So just chill on it and don't buy it, don't sell it. But the thing is, if you are supporting it, then you're all part of this cabal thing. I don't know. The P.Tires thing makes me want to hang up.
Well, hang it up, folks. Get some rest, get some grounding in, and stay one pulse ahead.
Yeah.
And we'll be on the lookout. We'll be streaming again soon. Check.
How big is your sack on PulseChain? How big is your sack? Heavy sack, heavy sack. How big is your sack on PulseChain? How big is your sack? Heavy sack, heavy sack. I was looking for a chain, something new, decentralized, either new. Stacking PLS6, liquidity on the decks. Somebody help me. My sack is so heavy. Get some Spark Swap, get the Dex Vaults, get the GOAT token, Legion Protocol, get some P.Tires, get some P-Drip, get some Teddy Bear, get some P-Hex. You know we here for the 100X. With your heart, always with the Gucci bags. I asked you once, I asked you twice. How big is your sack on PulseChain? How big is your sack? Heavy sack, heavy sack. How big is your sack on PulseChain? How big is your sack? Heavy sack, heavy sack. It's both a blessing and a curse, having a sack this big.
My sack's
PulseChain.com. Awesome. It's got higher throughput. It's deflationary. It burns 25% or more of the fees. There's no inflation. It never mints new coins.
How big is your sack?
It's going to be the world's largest free airdrop. So people love free money.
How big is your sack?
And they don't like the high fees. And this addresses all those issues. It's really cool.
How big is your sack?
Could Pulse do the same 10,000x that Hex did? Yes, it could.
How big is your sack?
The likelihood of that event? I don't know.
How big is your
got a few tricks up my sleeve. I got some more cool shit coming.